Okay, so Kyle, this is the part of the show where we talk about fight stories, physical altercations, and if you've been in more than one fight, the most memorable one that you've been in.
Oh boy, I work really hard to try to stay calm. I have not been in many fights in my life, but I guess the most memorable one was the one that ended me on the no-fly list in 2003.
2001 would have been a real problem.
Yeah.
Depends on what month.
I actually had I punched a flight attendant.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm not proud of it, but it's a good story to
I
tell
might be
now.
very proud of it after you tell me.
So it was 2003. My son he is now almost 19, and at the time he was like a year. And we're getting on the plane. We were in Akron, Ohio, because that's the cheaper way to fly than the downtown Cleveland airport. So we used to fly this airline called AirTran, which I think is now turned into Southwest or something like that. So it was like the budget airline. And as I'm getting on, I see where my seats are that's roped off. And I'm holding my son.
Ooh, VIP service. I like this airline.
So the flight attendant was like, "You can't sit here." And I'm like, okay, so I'm standing there for a second, and she goes, I'm kind of leaning on the seat because I'm tired. And she goes, "I don't know I just told you can't sit here. I don't know what you're doing." And I'm like, "I'm just tired. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Like, I have a kid, and it's very stressful traveling with a baby." Yeah. So she picks up the phone and calls the cockpit and says, "Hi, I'm getting some major attitude back here. I have 2 irate passengers." And this is how she sounded.
The 1-year-old is one of the two?
Well, I guess she was talking about my husband at the time.
Oh, okay.
So he was irate. But she really sounded like that. That was not a gratuitous accent. That is exactly how she sounded. And my ex says, too, "What are you talking about? I haven't even said anything." And I can't remember what happened. She said a couple other things. She was just very unhelpful, just kind of like your typical, like, disgruntled, not a person who should be working with the public. And I was only 26, and she leans in and says, I said, "What's your name? Because I'm going to write customer service." I said it like a Karen, like, "I'm going to talk to your manager." I was really stupid too, but I said, "What's your name? Because I'm going to make sure your supervisor knows like how unprofessional you are." And
I'm okay with this.
She leans in my face and she like her fingers like right here. And she goes, "My name is Denise, and don't you ever forget it."
Oh, geez, this lady has fucking all the gusto ever to exist.
And I'm telling you, I don't know what happened. I kind of like snapped. I don't really kind of remember, but everybody says I punched her. Like, I just like punched her right in the face.
Are you still holding your baby?
No, my husband was holding the baby at this point. And so
Hold this. What are you going to do? Watch.
So I was just like this rage of like, and I've been in therapy over the last 20 years trying to figure out like what happened in that moment. Like, was it, my mom had died the year before? Was it that I was overwhelmed being a new mom myself? Like, who knows? But she was like, she triggered something that in me. And the next thing I know, my husband had put his arm between us, and I'm trying to like, and then I like mushed her in the head again. And then the next thing I know, like 2 cops come on, handcuff us, pick up my son, said that they were going to put him in child protective services. And then that's when I was like, what just happened? Long story short, I should have gone to jail. But my aunt in Ohio, in Cleveland, I called her and I said, "Can you please come pick up Robert? I just got arrested." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I'm not kidding." My uncle knew like all these judges in Cleveland, so he was the perfect person. So he gets on the phone with the cop, and somehow they said, "Okay, we're going to let you go home, but you can't fly out of here tonight or any airport because you're on the no-fly list." So it was like me and Osama bin Laden, they were big time hunting at the time, 2003. Everyone was like, "Ah!" So I could not fly at all. We had to take a Greyhound bus back to New York City. It was like 20 hours.
With a baby.
No one on the bus had teeth. Like, there was like maybe a 2 teeth maximum for the whole Greyhound. And my ex like didn't speak to me like the entire time. I started to say something. He's like, "Please don't talk."